Yeah, I mean, I thought I was excited day one. I mean, talk to me now. Like, this is literally the greatest thing that's happened to me in my whole life, probably. But it's just awesome. I mean, the guys are awesome. Everybody's been super welcoming. I love the environment here. I love the vibe here. The city of Philly's, giving me a very warm welcome. I got about 20 times the amount of Instagram likes that I ever got on a post before from the Philly fans. So shout out to y'all.
Hey, y'all. Thanks for listening. I'm Matt Rogers, the host of the Honorable Mention podcast. Today we have sports and culture journalist extraordinaire OJ Spivey from the Philadelphia Tribune. How you doing today, OJ?
I'm doing great, Matt. We're back from this bye, and Eagles are in pole position, so we'll see if they can take the wheel and ride this thing through.
Absolutely. At the trade deadline, they added a few pieces, so I'm going to go right to the defensive line. That's where I'm most excited about the pieces they've added along the line with Brandon Graham and Jaelen Phillips. Was once considered a weakness on this team is now a real position of strength. What do you think about Jaelen Phillips, his fit in Philadelphia?
Well, as I'm writing this weekend, my column, he is the big fish. I mean, he is designated or supposed to be, or as we perceive him to be, the difference maker on that defensive line. And it was expected from my perspective that, okay, yes, you're not going to have as great of a pass rush as they did last year. Of course, with Josh Sweat leaving, who we saw who's having a pretty good year in Arizona. But we understand that from a financial standpoint, you're throwing Milton Williams in the interior of that line as far as the rotation is concerned. But kind of find out that the Eagles were seeking some defensive line help as early as right after training camp, like before the season, because this is another reason why Brandon Graham is here, because apparently Howie Roseman reached out to Brandon Graham before the season even started, and he just wasn't ready to come back yet. But I think Jaelen Phillips is a great addition. He does have some injury issues, but as far as physicality, as far as his ability, and to kind of steal, again, one of Howie Roseman's words, he has freakability, lack of a better term.
He does.
But yeah, I mean, he is the guy that's supposed to make a difference. And, I caution a little bit because they have made in-season moves or mid-season moves in the past.
Absolutely.
Well,
Robert Quinn.
He seems so happy and eager to be here, ready to go. And he's a big dude, by the way. I didn't realize how big he was. So I think you can plug him into this defensive line. And even from a depth standpoint, you get that much more. And they needed the depth because with the retirement of Zadarius Smith, who I thought coming on a little bit, to lose him.
Absolutely.
That was a big loss just as a body itself. Right. Losing Nolan Smith for at least, what was that? I guess it's 4 or 5 games now. But
they put him on ISO 4 games. I think it must have been 4 games.
Right. So he's back this week. So you have that depth, you had that rotation, and I thought that maybe they were going to make a couple moves because it seems as if they have an abundance of defensive line now. But everybody's on the roster. We'll see who.
Well, they put Aziz. Aziz is gone. Yeah.
Right. Oh yeah. So he's on the shelf now. So that's one less move. They'll be forced to make.
Right.
So, but I think with Phillips, I mean, he's everything you would want in a defensive lineman, and you also have the I won't say luxury, but you also have the fact that he played for Vic Fangio in Miami.
Absolutely.
One of the guys who
be ahead of the curve.
One of the guys who adored Fangio. So that has to be a positive. But as long as he can hold up physically, I think it's a great addition.
Yeah, I think so as well. And I think Uche is really starting to come on too. I think he's starting to make some plays. So you
Agreed.
got to continue to you got to get him in there. I mean, I like what I'm seeing from number 0 actually.
Yeah, he has come on. It's taken a while and everything. Another
Absolutely.
free agent pickup. People were wondering, okay, what does he have left? Maybe he underachieved in New England. That is, I believe, he came from. But
Yep.
yeah, he's coming along, and that's a good sign. I mean, if you're going to bring somebody in, you still want your regular guys to be productive. But again, um, Ty Roseman, the Eagles' philosophy on defense, and even with Fangio, they want to be able to rotate guys. And I think the more guys you have, the more productive guys that you have that you can rotate in and out.
Fastballs.
Right, the less you'll be fatigued.
Yep.
And we have seen this team. Not so much from a pass defense side, but from a run defense side. Teams have been able to run the ball on them. And
Yes.
if you're able to run the ball, you can tire out your the opposing defensive line. I don't care
Right.
how physically fit you are and quick you are and everything. So that's something to look out for too.
Absolutely. Speaking of Jaelen Phillips, how much of him do you expect to see on Monday night? I mean, do you expect to see him play maybe about a third of the snaps, or what do you think?
I think probably a little less than a third. I'm thinking somewhere around 15 to 20%. But as guys like Vic Fangio, and I love his press conferences, and he's very candid to where he lets you know. It's not going to be so many snaps because it's probably a learning curve of the defense,
Mm-hmm.
even though he's probably most familiar than anyone on the team right now. He has to get into the building. He has to get into the swing of things and, just learn. So I'm saying maybe a little less than a third of the snaps. I'm saying I think somewhere between 15 to 20% of the snaps will probably be okay for him for now, because where you really want him to tee off, and of course the Eagles can't look forward, they can't look past this big game in Green Bay. I think where they really need him most will be the following week in Detroit.
Absolutely. Yeah, but I think you can use pass rush help, and 15-20% that we're talking what maybe 10 snaps, something like that.
Yeah, somewhere around, I'd say more so around 15, and
Yeah.
again, the game always dictates, how many snaps a guy is going to make, how well can Green Bay run the football with Jacobs. I believe Jacobs is still healthy for this week. And I would think after last week, that stinker they put up against Carolina,
They're gonna be
I believe,
angry.
yeah, I believe that they'll probably make more of an effort to run the football. So that may dictate the amount of snaps. And I can't pinpoint and remember how good of a run defender Phillips is, but we do know that Brandon Graham is.
Yes.
He's as good of a run stopper as he is a pass rusher. So, I think, well, with BG's age, between BG and also Phillips, I think you'll see it probably around the same amount of snaps, and maybe Brandon a little more, because again, he has that pedigree to
He
be
played
able.
in this last year in this
Right,
system last year.
right, of course. So we'll see.
Yeah. In the going to the secondary, the Eagles added Michael Carter the third, not the Michael Carter, the running back, but the DB, and they added Jaire Alexander.
Or the former Sixers point guard, Michael Carter Williams, which I
Oh my
have
goodness!
to stop myself and try not to add Williams. Michael Carter the second. So that's for my own memory.
Yes. I mean, I'm pretty shocked that and it's surprising because the Ravens are pretty bad defense, but they have some names in there. They want to play Humphrey. You got to play Nate Wiggins. So if you listen to Jaire Alexander talk about it, he's kind of saying that they had guys there that they wanted to play. That's why that turned out that quickly, and he was in and out of there. I mean, I'm shocked that they gave away a player of that magnitude. I think Jaire Alexander got himself caught up in some not great situations this year. But what do you think? What do you expect from Jaire Alexander?
At this point, he's really the mystery. He's more of a. I thought Michael Carter II was a mystery until they picked up Alexander, or a couple of days later, right? So he's really a mystery, and at this point, you're just wondering: one, can he get on the field? And number two, can he just be a pro at this point in his career, right? Because, from my standpoint, can he just play where he's on the field where he won't hurt you, right? But you hear a few of my colleagues saying that he can't play anymore. There's a reason why he couldn't get on the field in Baltimore. Now I know he's had injury history too, but you have
they're just saying I've heard it. Some people are just saying he's cooked.
Yeah, saying he's cooked, he's washed.
I don't know how you go from where he was to cooked that fast.
I mean, it could happen. Some people have used the James Bradbury example. Once you lose a step as a
but James was over 30.
Yeah, that's true.
Jaire's still a young man. I mean, I could see that in 3 or 4 years, but
you also have the wear and tear of injuries, and you have that.
That's definitely present.
So if you have more of an injury history, that's going to put more mileage on your vehicle. It's like, okay, sure. Well, does your transmission go out before you're finish your payments, right? So if that happens, or you need a new engine before you've paid the car off, then you're looking at, okay, my my time with this vehicle is going to be limited. It's just going to be a matter of when, right?
Yeah.
So that's why I say at this point, you just hope if he does get on the field, can he just play his part, play his position? Because you're looking on the other side with Quinyon Mitchell, and he's proven that he can move around, and that Fangio will move him around with the number one receiver, right? The opposing team's number one receiver. So yes. The QB2 pretty much has to hold his own, whether it's Alexander, whether that's Ringo, who I believe is still going to start this weekend.
This week, for sure.
Yeah.
I think too.
Yeah, and he played well. He played well in the previous game.
At outside corner. You just don't want him to get caught up in And I've covered that before, so I don't want to even do that here again now. But
yeah, so I mean, we can expect Ringo to play. They're still very high on him. They still want to give him every opportunity to get some
win the job.
Time. Yeah, get some playing time. Eventually, win the job. But Alexander, some people are saying 3rd round pick is too high for him. No, it wasn't 3rd round pick. I'm thinking of Phillips.
6th round pick? Because Phillips was 3rd round pick.
Yeah, 6th, 7th round pick, I believe. My bad.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's not a high risk whatsoever. It's
low
risk and hopefully a decent reward. I'm not going to say high reward.
Can we get half of what he was in Green Bay? I mean, that's all
I say. Can you just play your position? As opposed to being
play NFL corner.
As
you don't got to be all pro.
Yeah, as opposed to being expecting to be a playmaker. That's Quinyon's job. That's DeJean's job. And just to add on, I still expect DeJean to play nickel corner because he's so good at it. And again, as Fangio so eloquently explained, that there's more to it than just being a nickel corner, because you have to be able to tackle as well.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Most of the game is played where Cooper DeJean is. That's why this Eagles defense is
exactly. So when you hear all these people, making the assumption or making a prediction that, okay, well, let's move DeJean outside. I mean, he has played outside in some base, but
you take his effectiveness away too.
Right. But if the base defense, you're not going to get killed in the slot because there's literally nobody there except for perhaps the tight end. But all these people saying that, oh yeah, you automatically move him outside. Why would you do that? The old cliche is, okay, why would you weaken two positions instead of potentially one? Just one, right? But we'll still see him on the outside sometimes, depending on the formations. But he is an outstanding football player as a nickel corner in the slot, and it just doesn't make any sense to expect him to move outside permanently. Maybe later on his career, perhaps, but or everybody else falls on their face. I don't see that happening because I still believe in Ringo a bit, that he can play this game. But we'll see what happens, and I just think Michael Carter is here for depth as well.
And a dime look or something like that, a nice, you get a 2-3 touchdown lead and they're throwing the ball another extra 20 times. Michael Carter gets some, You know what? That
didn't even occur to me, because normally when they put the backups in, especially back in safety and all that, they give up points. And I know people who are
yep. Oh yeah,
rallying up some money and everything. I know they're not happy about that. So maybe facetiously, that's why Carter is here too.
I mean, because you can't, I think in the dime, and then for more just these not prevent looks, but extra DB looks when they just got to chuck it.
I'll say this: if Carter was here or the Super Bowl, the score's probably not 40-22. It's maybe 40-16.
Yeah, Carter said. That is the McCollum was awful. Michael Carter said that he's willing to play safety as well if he's called upon to do that. So he threw that out there. I don't know if Vic has been asked that question. I don't know what the context was of that question.
I think that was a question because I believe he played safety in college. But again, that's light years away. So, but I mean, if he's capable, again, you have one of the best defensive coordinators in the game. So, if he's willing to do so, and Vic Fangio is open to it, again, you don't want to see that, because that means that either Blankenship and or Makuba is hurt. I understand Makuba has had some low lights this year, but no,
Makuba's a good player. But he's going to only get better.
Right, he's only going to get better, and you have to allow him to have those growing pains, and
absolutely
people not panic because maybe he gave up a touchdown or he got beat on a play. I mean, Q has gotten beat on a couple plays this year, but that hasn't taken away from his talent, his ability to eventually be an All-Pro.
That's like saying a great shot blocker. Oh, he got dunked on. I gotta highlight him getting dunked on. You don't defend the rim. I mean, it happens when you're guarding some of these excellent guys. They're gonna make a play. They have the advantage. So,
yep.
And I would say, now that we're thinking about it, I hate to throw Sidney Brown under the bus, but. In just a passing scenario, maybe they're better off with Michael Carter at safety instead of Sidney Brown.
Well, we'll see. I do know that they value Sidney Brown on special teams, even though
special teams. I do
too. He tried to go MMA in the last game, I believe, but Other than that, um, yeah, I don't think we'll see any changes anytime soon because one of the things when you play for the Eagles, if you're not starting, you have to be able to play or have some type of role on special teams. So
Michael
that's where
Clay.
you're
Yep.
right. That's where your Sidney Brown comes into play. That's where your Trot Jr. comes into play. Those guys are pretty good special team players. So he's going to remain on that roster just for that alone.
The offenses seem to catch its stride, especially with the 11T formation. Now they bringing in Fred Johnson, who you've praised and have high words for.
Right.
I think in the second half of the season, I don't think Saquon Barkley's even gotten started yet. I think he could finish with over 1,200 yards. Right now, he's only at 519, but I think he could finish over 1,200. What say you about that?
I mean, he said it himself that it has taken a while, but he always said that they're close, and he finally broke it. So it does look like a recipe for success. Green Bay is a much better defense. They're probably they're probably going to be the best defense that they faced so far this year, or maybe the whole season. Well, between them and Denver, because Denver has a great. It's a big reason why they're 8-2 with Bo Nix. But but anyway, back to Barkley. Yeah, I think they'll maintain. Are you going to see breaks every single game? Probably not. But I think you'll see more of a sequence to where he'll get his 100 yards game, or at least every other game. And if
they got 9 more games, and if he gets 100 every game, he's well over that 1,200. And you're not really gonna get 100 every game, but if he's in that ballpark, it doesn't take too much to get there because all you need is say to hit one for 45 or 50 or 60, and then you're over that. You quickly get there.
Right. And the idea is to get him going and to get him in the end zone. And I'm not just talking about goal line. I'm talking about,
from anywhere.
Even if it's not a 65-yard run, him going in from 25 and going in from 30 and all those things. That's what you want to look for with Barkley, and I believe that they will. You talked about the 11T, bringing in Fred Johnson. That's been a recipe for success, and I think overall, Matt, I think it's just the natural progression and natural maturation of Kevin Patullo and the offense just coming together. That was going to take some time. Whether fans want to ship out, Patullo, at PHL through this government shutdown, which is going to be delayed anyway.
It's your constant plan about your thing. You say there always has to be a judge, jury, and executioner, and Kevin Patullo was being executed earlier.
Exactly, you remember? Yeah. So I think I reiterated that this week because somebody was still saying, Patullo's still on my list, right? But again, common. Common
wisdom.
Common wisdom would say, or just even kill person would agree or say that, okay, this is just a natural progression of comfort. It's going to take half the season. I mean, it's kind of similar to last year with Kellen Moore. But then again, I had some friends literally threatening Kellen Moore the day of the Super Bowl.
Oh my gosh!
Knowing that he was out the door. I mean, not in the literal sense, but
okay.
But said, okay, you better call a great game out the door.
And boy, did he!
We ain't trying to have another Jonathan Gannon, right? But I just think it's just a natural thing, and I think it's only going to get better. And people just needed to relax at the beginning. I know, I talked about and I wrote about Jaelen talking about Patullo perhaps not being ready for the job. No, I don't want to speak. not him necessarily being ready for the job, but you know, and I want to quote Jaelen um, appropriately, saying that it's a new role for him, and he will
Yes.
probably paraphrasing now, he will probably have to grow into the position because it is a brand new role.
And he said
That's
that that was back in the spring, right?
that was a week after the Super Bowl. They exit
Okay.
interviews.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Absolutely.
but again, yeah, I mean, if you're new to a position or you get promoted, you're gonna need to grow into a job.
Yep.
You know, me as I've worked in management and supervision and everything, I had to grow into the job. So,
Absolutely.
you're the
Absolutely.
new guy, you're the new girl, you're going to grow into the job. Not what did Dick Vermeil say? Nobody knows everything. So
That the sooner the sooner humans realize that, the closer they are to unleashing themselves.
yeah, I run away from people who claim they got it all together all the time.
Exactly. Yep. You're dangerous to yourself. But another story for another day. We'll get back to the birds. Aren't you glad that the Eagles are now, we don't have to, not the Eagles, because, but just all of us get to at least wait another 5 or 6 months until we have to have this AJ Brown discussion again?
Oh my God, man. It's just listen, I'm not one, and I'm very reluctant to jump on other journalists. I'm very reluctant to jump on other people in the profession because
Right.
it's kind of like a unwritten rule, unless
Right.
it's something where it crosses the
Egregious.
line with being racist, being
Yep.
sexist, all those things. Then I got to
Yeah.
step in and say something. But
Yeah.
respectfully, it was just ridiculous. It was just ridiculous to even bring it up because it all stems back to two moron talk show hosts back in New England decided that what would it be like if AJ Brown was traded to the New England Patriots simply because Mike Vrabel is now the head coach, who of course coached Brown in Tennessee.
Tennessee, but AJ wanted to leave Tennessee, though, right? That's how that ended up going.
If I'm not mistaken, yes, somewhere along those lines. But stories get convoluted over time, right? They become second person, third person, fourth person, but that's where it
Right.
all stemmed through. And the inkling that he's disgruntled, he's upset, him and Jaelen aren't tight no more. And I don't think we've talked about that since. But I will say, I will get to that later. But for supposedly professional journalists to just keep pounding the table saying, okay, AJ Brown is up for trade. Will AJ Brown get traded? When is he going to get traded? And the most irresponsible thing about it, Matt, was very few people talked about the salary implications for both teams.
Right.
No matter if he was traded, what was the cap implications for that team? What were the implications, the obvious glaring implications for the Eagles? Not only this year, but next year with the dead cap money. But people are of the belief also, unfortunately, that because in an unprecedented circumstance, the Eagles traded Carson Wentz, that they're going to automatically trade somebody else.
But they did that during a fire sale. The Eagles are 6-2. Also, why would the Eagles trade one of their very best players, if not, in some people's opinion, their best player, for what? For draft picks for next season? What sense does that make? Where's the equal value? Where are the Eagles going to get a wide receiver of that caliber back this season? They're just gonna blow this season, like because AJ Brown's upset, he just has to go. It was like shades of T.O. Always with AJ,
Well,
there's always
people
that
wanted,
specter. People want
people
that.
wanted it to blow up like T.O. back in
They keep wanting it.
2005. I mean, the league was different then. It's totally different, and it's not even the same circumstances.
Right.
T.O. was demanding a new contract.
Yes.
I mean, AJ Brown is signed for the next 3 years, I believe. So,
and when he signed for the highest number of any wide receiver in football.
right
After the season where they completely fell on their faces. So
exactly.
after that season where they completely failed out, got bounced out of the playoffs. AJ doesn't even play in the playoffs in Tampa Bay. He then re-signs for the highest number in football at wide receiver. That's the history of this conversation.
Yeah, exactly. And we don't even. Well, I'll talk about his teammates. His teammates love him. They love him in the locker room. They know he's one of the best damn players at his position.
Right.
Again, 3-time All-Pro, 3 straight 1,000-yard seasons. I'll go at it, and I'll even go on AJ's side because I've been critical with AJ with this too.
Mm-hmm.
Just as
far
far as
obviously,
okay, you want to get the ball more. I get it. In essence, some of the things he's saying is valid. Getting more involved, utilizing your weapons. I get that, but it really doesn't check out when you look at his overall production since he's been here. I know his numbers are down, right? So 2 things I just mentioned: 3-time All-Pro, 3 straight 1,000-yard seasons. He also owns several team records,
right?
A couple of NFL records. Okay, so if he wants the ball more, what does that look like under a team that's already 6-2? I can see if you were 3-5. I can see if you were 2-6.
500.
Yeah, you can give me 4-4.
Right.
You can make the case that they're 6-2, right? So what have they've lost?
They lost to Denver and to the Giants in back-to-back weeks.
Right. So they've basically lost 3 games in over 3 regular season games in over a calendar year.
Right. That Commanders game was in December.
Yeah, where Jaelen didn't play. I don't think
he finished the game
himself. Right. He didn't finish the game. I think AJ Brown missed that game himself. Right. And he still got over 1,000 yards that season. Right. He missed a couple games and still got over 1,000 yards this season. So again, if you want the ball more, what does that look like? And his production, what more is that? I mean, is that 150 catches? Do you want the reception record? Do you want to get 2,000 receiving yards? You're talking about Megatron territory. Is that what he wants? And if you can get that, will you still be able to win the game? Because that means he's being force-fed the ball.
And putting the ball in harm's way. I mean, the thing is I think his frustration is that it says it in his social media name. He believes he's always open. And so it's throw me the ball.
Like Urban City's
the guys with me. Yeah.
But he played with Emmitt Smith who carried the ball forever.
Mm-hmm.
They ran Emmitt Smith to death.
Mm-hmm.
Irvin's still in the Hall of Fame. I mean, AJ has an inside track to the Hall of Fame if he's on this trajectory. Even with his numbers being down, right? He also knew when he came here, they already had 1,000-yard rusher in Miles Sanders.
Mm-hmm.
Another 1,000-yard rusher in DeAndre Swift.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, 2,000 yards with Barkley. He
was rated the number 1 player in football. His Saquon's peers rated Saquon Barkley the number one player in all of football.
AJ Brown still had all this production with 1,000-yard rushers. So I guess is it the extra 1,000 yards or so, or extra 800 yards that's being taken away from him? But he also knew that Devontae Smith's on this team. Dallas Goedert is on this team. Again, more production. What does that look like? And does that still guarantee you to win? Because I'm gonna tell you something. Even though the Vikings came back and put it on the Lions, no, I won't even use Justin Jefferson. Look at Jamar Chase. He has a right to be disgruntled.
Mm-hmm.
He has every right
to let that game go.
I know he doesn't have his quarterback, but he got his touches.
Yes.
He got his touches. He got his targets, got his yards. Flacco threw for what? Almost 500 yards last week.
And he got plans for mid-January. And they're not, and they don't need to be in the US. They don't need to involve shoulder pads.
I love AJ. He's one of my favorite interviews, everything. Fantastic player. Again, perhaps a future Hall of Famer. But again, he could easily be in Cincinnati, running routes with Jamar Chase or, in T. Higgins. That's my only pushback at what I would want to ask AJ if I get the chance. But if they're still winning, I probably won't even bother. I know one thing too, jokingly, they went on a 2-game winning streak when he started complaining. They went on a 2-game losing streak and looked pretty bad doing it. So, but I think they'll be okay. And going back to what you said about the offense, hitting his stride and everything, I think they'll be okay. And I think the more they win, the less and less. Hopefully, not after this week, especially if they win, you won't even hear anything about it. Like you said, another 4 or 5 months or whatever.
It's over. And if they do what they're supposed to do, they go back to back, or even they get to the Super Bowl, you're going to blow it up. I mean, because trading AJ Brown is a blow it up type move.
Yeah, I know Harry Roseman, even Jeffrey Lurie, who one of the reporters who kept pushing this rumor, got to talk to at the owners' meeting. You can only take what a GM and an owner for a grain of salt, but I think they're, for what they do, I think they're fairly straightforward.
Mm-hmm.
They even said, and I think you hinted to it, Matt. We acquire players like that. We don't give them away.
Right. It's ridiculous. Come on.
There you go.
So go ahead.
No, you're fine. So, I mean, that's where we're at.
So we're exactly halfway through the season. Let's go ahead and pick some of these interesting division winners. Let's go to the AFC North first, where the Steelers currently hold the lead. Do you think that the Steelers maintain pole position?
Is that what's that? Is that a 3-game lead over Baltimore?
I think it's a 2-game lead.
2-game
Let me
lead.
make sure I'm not passing along fake information for people.
No, it's fine. So whether it's 2 or 3, I'll still go with my point.
Yes, the Steelers are 5-3. The Ravens are 3-5. Bengals are 3-6. Browns are 2-6.
Well, you know what, Matt? I think the Ravens have only played 1 division game so far. If I'm not mistaken, they've only played 1 division game, or 2, or it's 2. They haven't even played the Steelers yet.
Oh, they're in good position then,
right? So I think they have 5 more division games to go. I don't trust Baltimore.
Yeah, they've only played the Browns in their own division.
Right. So if they can get it, if they can get either halfway healthy, I don't trust the Browns at this point.
Heck no.
I mean, I don't trust the Ravens at this point, because it's always something with them. It's always something. right?
But this
And
is just to beat three other, mid teams. Honestly, I'm taking the Ravens.
part of me wants to take them. Maybe they will. I got to see how they look. We got to see
Today you take the Steelers.
when they first. It's the Steelers to lose right now. Obviously, it's the Steelers to lose, but to me, it looks like Pittsburgh might be coming a little bit back down to earth.
Yep.
How can Aaron Rodgers hold up this whole season? Because he looked pretty mid. Yeah, he's looking pretty mid lately, right?
Yes.
So,
yep.
Defense looked like it was leaking a little bit of oil, a little bit, right?
Mm-hmm.
But do you trust? Can we trust the Ravens at this point? But I do give them the benefit of a little bit of benefit of the. Yeah,
Let me look at this. Let me look at their schedule. Let's look at.
They haven't played the division yet.
Right.
They're halfway
so
through, and that's a quirky schedule.
they play the Browns on Sunday. So, some of you be listening to it on Sunday. Browns are playing the Ravens in Cleveland this week, or I'm sorry, next week. So Vikings, Browns, Jets, Bengals, Steelers, Bengals, Patriots, Packers, Steelers. You could go on a run there. You could go on a nice little maybe.
Well, they could easily get to 500.
Oh yeah.
Or better before they even get to the Steelers.
And they get the Steelers 2 times in 5 weeks.
All right, so I'll go talk with the Steelers for now.
18. Okay.
So we'll check back with the Ravens. I wouldn't put it this way. I wouldn't be surprised, but I'm not putting any money on the Ravens. I'm not going to be vested in their comeback.
Week 8, we'll have to revisit a week 18, January 4th, for the division. That'd be good. Aaron,
no, let's just check back after their first game. I want to see them against the Steelers, and I'll be able to gauge it a little more.
In Pittsburgh in January. That's good. In January, so the first one's in Baltimore.
Let me see that first one in Baltimore, and then we'll text back, I'm sure.
All right, let's go to the AFC West. Right now, we have the Broncos at 8-2, Chargers at 6-3, Chiefs at 5-4, and the Raiders at 2-7.
Of course,
so we're really talking about maybe 3 teams, but what are you thinking?
Yeah, I'm not even worried about KC losing at Buffalo because Buffalo gets them in a regular season. They always do. Right. Yep. So the question there is, can KC catch Denver? At this point, I don't think so.
Mm-hmm.
I still think, and again, we got to see how them division. What the head.
They still have 2 against. They still have 2 head-to-head. That's the interesting. That's the hook there.
So who's that? KC?
KC and Denver haven't played yet.
And has Denver played LA yet?
Denver just whooped up on. Oh, I'm sorry. Has Denver?
So that's what. So they still have a lot going on there. So. Again,
Denver lost to the Chargers.
Okay, so Chargers got 1 up on them. Well, I'll put it this way: out of all 3 of those teams, I trust the Chargers the least. But I will still go with Denver because their defense is so damn good.
Yes. I gotta go with Denver, and they got so many games. There's so many games up.
There's so many games.
This is a baseball lead in baseball. This is like a 10-game lead. What they got going
right,
on
and
right
even if they play bad, and even if Bo Nix goes out and stinks up the place, which he almost did, this to start this week at Thursday.
Oh, Thursday night football. Yeah,
Right, 10-7. Yeah, that game took football back like 70 years.
It was
but anyway, even if Bo Nix plays bad, their defense is still good enough to just cause turnovers, and they can freaking win 10-7, 17-13 games because their defense is so good, right? So yeah, I got to go with the Broncos.
For regular season, I don't trust them. I do not trust them to get out of wild card weekend.
They may not get out of wild card weekend because you got to do a little something once you get to the playoffs. Your offense has to finally
show me something, Bo Nix. I mean,
perhaps,
and he did beat the Eagles,
but
yes.
But I would just go with Denver. But then when you get to January, that's a whole nother animal.
Yeah, they're gonna bounce like a trampoline. All right, let's go to the NFC North, which is it is the most interesting division in football, in my opinion. You got the 5-2-1 Packers at the top, asterisk, followed by the 5-3-0 Lions, like most teams in football without a tie. The 5-3 Bears and the 4-4 Vikings.
Ooh, yeah. As Chris Berman says, the old NFC North.
Yes.
But it looks to me that they're just going to beat each other up.
They are,
because Lions they've already lost to Green Bay. They've already lost to Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
So that might come back to bite them in the butt if they want to win that division.
Absolutely.
Right? So Lions really can't afford to lose any more division games because they're already in a hole. And I think Minnesota probably has a better division record than the Lions already, especially beating them head to head. And we're not even talking about the Bears,
who, despite not playing good football this season overall, are 5-3. I mean, they're right there in the thick of things.
Well, I give credit to Ben Johnson because I wasn't sure of how good of a coach he would be, but he looks like he's coaching well. And for Caleb Williams, as I call him, as we say in the culture, Williams, for him to come back, I was impressed. I know it was the Bengals. I know how horrible and dreadful the Bengals defense was, but when he darted that touchdown to Loveland,
Colston Loveland,
that was impressive to me.
It was,
and I don't think anybody's going to want to play. I know the Eagles got to play him later on, but again, the Bears could beat anybody in that division right now.
I want to get back to what you were saying about the Bears, but while we mentioned that play, I do not want to mention that play. It was a very good throw, good poise, good throw, good run after the catch. Absolutely atrocious. I can't let it pass.
Yeah, it was poor.
That was bad flag football tackling.
Poor tackling, poor angles, everything. You're right. But just the pass. We're just talking about the pass.
Yes, good pass.
Everything after that was So you're right. You're right in that. But anyway, that division, man. I mean, Bears could. I'm not saying that they will, but they're in a good position because what? Everybody has 3 losses except for the Packers.
Yep.
And then
the Packers may have a third loss coming.
Yeah, they may have a third loss coming. But we do remember back, what was that, 2009? Eagles got in at 9-6-1.
That's right. On the Cowboys, the 44-6 game.
They blew out the Cowboys. 2 other people had to lose.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was like the Raiders had to lose, and then it ended up being 4:00 game.
That was like, in baseball, like game 162, and everything falls into place.
Yes.
That was fun. But anyway,
and the Bears get the Giants this week, by the way, folks. The Bears get the Giants in Chicago. We're talking
essentially the Chicago Bears at 6-3. Who would have thought? Them got to be a coach of the year candidate if that's the case.
And well, the Lions and the Bears could potentially be tied at 6-3. The Lions get the Commanders, the reeling Commanders who are just getting left in the dust. I mean, they could end up third place for sure.
Well, here's another thing, Matt. So as crazy as the NFL playoff format is, it is quite possible. I know we don't have the time to look at everything throughout the conference, but it's quite possible that the entire NFC North could make the playoffs
because there's 3 play. Yes,
look
that's
at the
right.
NFC East.
That's right.
More than likely, the Eagles will be the only team coming out of the East.
No doubt about it. Nobody else is coming out of there.
And then
it would be the West. It would be somebody out of the North or the West, because the West has a whole, and that's our next one.
Right.
So we can just go right into that conversation because we've got the Seahawks at 6-2. You got the Rams at 6-2. You got the 49ers at 6-3, and then you got the Cardinals with Jacoby Brissett, and Kyler Murray with the clipboard. But you got, between those two divisions, no. The Cardinals are way behind 500. They're 3-5.
Okay,
but you got the Niners at 6-3, Rams at 6-2. Seahawks 6-2.
So this goes deeper, man. So we're probably going to have a couple of over 500 teams ass out. SOL.
Yes, no doubt about it.
And that has
good
teams quite a while.
Yeah.
I mean, weren't we just complaining a couple years ago?
Oh yeah, people
winning their division at 7-9.
And I don't like it.
Oh, no, what was that? Was that 2020 when? What was that? Was it
the Commanders won the division? Jalen Hurts got benched. I want to say week 18.
They won that at 7-9.
Doug took him out in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Jalen wasn't benched. Jalen was playing well for any of the listeners who want to use that. Oh, I'm gonna look it up. And Jalen Hurts was playing well. I think
Chase Young told him. He said, "Thank you for having them bench you. We were glad that you got benched." And that was his rookie year. That was his 4th game starting.
Because that was Taylor Heineke. That was the Taylor Heineke Commanders, or Washington football team.
Oh, wow. That's right. They were still the football team, the unified team, like the Olympics. But anyway, yeah, man, we could see perhaps
the
entire NFC North making the playoffs, perhaps the entire NFC, the 3 out of the 4 in the NFC West making the playoffs. But then again, likely, if we're going on the same trajectory, we might have 2 or 3 teams who are SOL.
That's right. Who have had good seasons. And then you got since we did bring up the potential wild card, because there are a lot of teams who are now eliminated. I mean, they're not really eliminated, but there is some cream rising. The Carolina Panthers, while we're having this discussion, Carolina Panthers are in the creamish discussion. They could be in the hunt.
They're in the hunt. They say in the hunt. Listen, I am very impressed with Carolina's turnaround. And I'm a Bryce Young fan. Yep. I'm glad they have not given up on him. They tried. They can't. At least not for right now. And they shouldn't.
Andy Dalton didn't let it happen.
Yeah, exactly. So hopefully Bryce is not that Andy needs the money at this point, because he's made a ton of money in the NFL. But hopefully they're exchanging and having nice dinners together, maybe with their families and stuff. But yeah, I'm very impressed with what Carolina has done, because they needed that turnaround. They really did. And hopefully they can carry on. And so is that Tampa is up. Oh, how many?
6-2. Yeah, they're 6-2 as well.
Okay. So that's going to be interesting. Yeah, that's going to be interesting. Atlanta doesn't look like they're ready. We know New Orleans is done.
No.
For the season.
Yeah. They packed it up. 1, 2, 3 Cancun, then they shipped off Shaheed.
Yeah. So they might be tanking for Arch.
Arch.
Either maybe
Yeah.
the following year or
Family
whatever.
ties.
Yeah, I don't think Arch is eligible after this year, is he? He may not be. Well, if he
I
graduates,
mean, his play of late is made him
well, you know they're
eligible.
gonna take him high anyway. You know, people are gonna take him high anyway just because of the name alone.
I
And the
find that
family,
interesting.
and the
I guess
fam-
I don't want to go too
I'm
far
telling
afield
you,
on that, but that
I'm telling
I
you,
thought interesting names.
the
That's good.
family Manning, you know, is gonna make that happen where he's gonna be a
Oh,
top 5 pick, whether he deserves it or not. Because
man.
they're gonna pick the spot for him. Same
Mm,
way they did for Eli, same way they did with Peyton Manning when he literally threatened the Colts if they didn't pick him,
mm.
because that's the only place he wanted to go. So it works both ways, right? You know, Eli not wanting to go to San Diego at the time.
Mm.
So it's all orchestrated. I'm telling you, it is all orchestrated. He will not be any less than a top 5 pick.
Find that quite interesting. Did you give me a pick? Give me a pick for. We talked about the wild card.
Mhm.
Give me a pick for the NFC West.
So I guess it's Seattle in the lead right now.
Seattle's in the lead.
That's another interesting story. I'm going to take. I think that's going to because I think eventually, how much can San Francisco keep winning with Mac Jones, a quarterback who's actually doing a
Right,
decent job, and San Francisco's doing it with a ton of injuries.
right.
So Kyle deserves some credit there.
Yes, he does.
But let's see. I don't know if I trust Seattle, but they're playing so well. I think the Rams could end up coming out of that. Your boy Stafford.
I got to give it to him. He's dialing it up this year, and I do think I still got to see it from Sam Darnold. He. I will say now he's a good NFL quarterback. Sam Darnold. I just don't know if he's like one of those guys, and there's only one way for us to find out. But if
Oh,
I'm
he's gonna
going
get you to
into
the
it,
regular season. He gonna get you to the playoffs now. But after that, that's
oh,
that's when you talk about who's elite and who's not.
we get to see next Sunday night. Sunday afternoon. They play in LA, and then they play again on December 18th. So
Well,
they'll
you're right. So yeah, that's going to say a lot about. See, I know we're still mid-season, but I think we'll have a better gauge with Seattle if they can go into LA and beat the Rams. They're probably going to win the
they're
division.
for real.
Right.
They're and they could and with that defense, I mean the LA Rams defense and the Seahawks those are championship defenses. They're balling right now.
They are, and I'm really surprised with Seattle and how well they're playing on both sides of the ball.
Absolutely.
I mean, you have Njigba, he's a lead player. He's probably going to be All Pro this year.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's leading the league in receiving yards, if I'm not mistaken. You have them, but they have a good running game. Like you said, Darnold is playing really well, but I'm really surprised defensively because they don't have a whole lot of big names either.
Yeah. OJ, give me your keys to the game, the Monday Night Football game this Monday. The Philadelphia Eagles at Green Bay Packers, and score prediction.
Well, I hate to say this, especially because it's a cliche, because I'm so defensive when people try to pull this with Jalen Hurts, but I think it's a good it's a good strategy. I think they have to make Jordan Love beat them.
Yep.
Make Jordan Love beat them, make him throw. More often than not. I think the key is to not let the number one key, I should say, is to not let Josh Jacobs get off. And I want to see how the Eagles run defense, how they come out on Monday night, and see how much improved that they are. And I think they are a bit improved from what we saw the last couple of weeks. But I think that is a key. If they can hold Jacobs to a reasonable amount of yards, and make Jordan Love beat them. Because another caveat to that is they don't have Kraft anymore. He's out for the season.
That's right.
And that was his go-to guy.
The number one guy.
Right. And I think the receivers, Watson, all those guys, they're a bit inconsistent.
That's what I was gonna say. I mean, I'm more making these wide receivers beat me. They got Savion Williams, they got Romeo Doubs, Christian Watson,
pretty good,
Matthew
though.
Golden.
Yeah.
They're above mid. I'm not saying these guys are bad, but
they're all guys. So yeah,
I mean,
right. So this is I think that'd be a good recipe if they can keep Jacobs at bay and force Green Bay to throw more than they want to. I know the Packers are going to bring it defensively. I know they are. But I'm not too worried about that because I think even without Cam Jurgens, like you said, the X factor being Fred Johnson with those special packages, they're back healthy. You get AJ Brown back. He's been practicing, so he'll play. Interesting to see how the defense is going to come out, but I think they'll be fine. I think they win a close game. I'll say 27. I'll say 27-21 Eagles.
I think the Eagles continue to put up points. I'm going 33-27 Eagles.
Oh, they put up 30. They put up a 30 spot in Green Bay. It's going to be cold. Not worried about that. It might snow a little bit and everything, but again, they've been through that.
Yep.
But this could be another Saquon Barkley game too. I wouldn't be surprised. We were talking about him earlier in the show, but I wouldn't be surprised if Saquon Barkley gets a lot of tough yards and maybe breaks one.
He's due. I mean, that guy, I'm a big believer in regression to the mean. You can only keep a good dog down for too long. So he y'all look forward to it. I'm telling y'all, get that 1,200 yards, and I'm gonna keep the track going.
I think that's about right. Yep. So we'll have the Barkley meter going.
OJ, thank you so much once again for making time. Listeners or viewers, you can follow him at OJ Philly and subscribe to the Philadelphia Tribune. Anywhere else that people can follow you and show you support?
So I'm on Threads. I'm still on Twitter X. I'm also on Blue Sky as well. So check me out on all those things. And of course, check me out at phillytrib.com.
All right. Thank you all for listening. Please like and subscribe, share with your friends. Go Birds for those who like the Eagles. Thanks.
On 2nd and 10. Here is Barkley. Left side, big hole.